Good morning or good afternoon. This is David Taylor Klaus, and welcome to episode 4 of Mindset Mondays. So we are early in the morning for the West Coast, work morning for the East Coast, and mid-afternoon for Europe. So I'd love to jump right in, just again so that we know why we're here. Mindset Mondays is a year-long series of weekly broadcasts giving growth set-oriented folk, or folks who wish to be, the opportunity to play with new mindsets, new ideas, and really get to experience the power of and the control that comes with power over your mindset. So, with that eloquent opening, we have a real opportunity today. Unfortunately, the news came out yesterday that Sir Roger Bannister passed away. Now, I don't know how many of you recognize the name right away. Roger Bannister was the first human to break the 4-minute mile. He was a med student at the age of 25 and a part-time runner and Olympian. And in fact, he retired just a few months after breaking the 4-minute mile. What's actually cool about this story is that science and medicine had come up with so many reasons why the human being could not break the 4-minute mile. There was scientific research and documentation done to show that the human body could not withstand the force required to move fast enough to break the 4-minute mile. It was considered to be a wall that was impenetrable. And in fact, when Roger Bannister finished the race and laying on the ground, looked up and saw the clock that it said 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds, he said later in an interview, he thought he was dead. So even he didn't quite believe that it was possible. And yet, so here's what's interesting. The quote we want to play with today is, one cannot be prepared for something while secretly believing it will not happen. Again, one cannot be prepared for something while secretly believing it will not happen. And so the quote comes from Nelson Mandela, and this was during the time of fighting apartheid. But I want to bring it back to Roger Bannister, again, just to honor the fact that he just passed. The idea that the world believed that was impossible, and no matter how much folks prepared for that, believing that it wasn't possible, no one had broken it. Within 46 days, Roger Bannister's record stood for 46 days. 46 days after he broke the 4-minute mile, it was broken again. The end of the first year after Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, 300 runners had broken the 4-minute mile. So as soon as the belief that 4 minutes was an impenetrable wall was broken, as soon as that wall was broken, as soon as that myth was dispelled, as soon as it was proved that it was possible, then other folks could break that barrier. So as we work in our lives to prepare for something, whether it's a big launch, a new job, a big promotion, the launching of a new company, whatever it can be, if in our hearts we don't believe that it'll work, or that we can do it, or that we can accomplish it, then it actually is impossible. It really requires, achieving anything requires that we, while preparing, believe that it's possible. Now, Roger Bannister left the sport of running altogether. He retired within 3 months of having broken the record and went on to be an incredibly successful neurosurgeon. In fact, he was knighted by the Queen at some point, not for running, not for his experience, if I read the story right, not for his experiences on the track, but for his contribution to medicine. And after suffering from Parkinson's for many years, he just passed at age 88. So he's contributed to our world in so many ways, and the one that I really want to honor is he was proof. And what happened after he broke that record, what he provided for those behind him in the sport, was proof that what we believe is really true. And as long as we believe that we are up against a limit, We're never going to blow through that limit. As long as we believe there is a functional obstacle out there, as long as we believe that we cannot achieve something, all the preparation in the world is for naught. So by the way, I do recognize the irony that he didn't think it was possible, yet he still beat it. However, I think I want to go back to what's most important is the folk behind him who were given the freedom to believe something new. And we don't have to wait for somebody else to break a record, somebody else to break a wall, somebody else to achieve what we're working towards to then begin to believe it's possible. You look around you at the things that have been created. We're on Facebook. We're on a platform that had Zuckerberg waited until somebody else created it, regardless of the story of its founding. They waited for it to become one of the largest companies on the planet and then say, "Ooh, I want to do that." Then it wouldn't exist. So again, where are you holding yourself back in the things that you're preparing for? Where are you holding a belief that something's not possible at the same time you're giving lip service to creating it? So just like I ask every week, and again, I realize there's a little lag time, so I'll give it just a moment for folks to contribute their thoughts. What's coming up for you? I mean, there's some, I love it. Luchetta says, love this quote. So really, what are you noticing? What are you surfacing right now? Where are the places that you're holding yourself back with a belief that you can't create it? And good morning, Stephanie. I always love folks coming in from Jamaica. Wish I were there. Yes. How many of us have said, Bill Sanford, how many of us have said, I can't? This goes right back to the Henry Ford quote we played with a couple weeks ago. If you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. Right? No, Merritt, you're perfect. Type away. I haven't figured out how to get people in to speak, so you just have to do it through typing. No, but that is the idea. We start off so much of I can't. And on one hand, what's worse is how often we're saying out loud, yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, we'll create this. Yes, we'll launch that. And inside you're saying, oh God, it'll never work. It's remarkable how often that's the case. Look, I mean, I mentioned in the first one of these that Jody, my marketing guru, and I came up with this whole program and the things we're going to do with it over the course of this upcoming year. We came up with this plan beginning of last year and sat on it and did nothing. And I, despite all the preparation, decided, no, I don't want to do this, can't do it, can't make it happen. And so I didn't. It's this huge place. Jody, what shows up is thinking something will be hard and too time consuming. And so you procrastinate. God, yes, it's the procrastination is the killer. Procrastination and the resistance is usually a sign that, man, there's something huge you're stepping back from. Yeah, so it's great when you do achieve the results and then you can become addicted to the feeling of success. Got built really epically true, the idea that success breeds success, and all you need is a small win to want more and more. And I think that's a really big piece. We talk about setting yourself up for success is often setting yourself up for a cascade of shift in results where one win gets followed by another by another. Yeah, when you force yourself to do it, it wasn't that hard and it took less effort than you anticipated. It is. And I'll go back to the setting yourself up for success. It's not necessarily beating the 4-minute mile. It's a personal, pushing for a personal record each time. If you're pushing for improving over your last performance and a little more and a little more, it's those incremental wins are going to get you to that critical barrier point. Yeah. And Luchetta, again, so often all you need to do is start. A lot of times I talk about in working with clients, done beats perfect. Man, if you wait till it's perfect to release it to the world, then the opportunity in the market can pass you by. The chance to play can pass you by. So if you wait till it's perfect, you don't have a chance to put it out there and test it and get responses to it and see how it plays. So much of the time, you're really looking at just starting, getting it out there and playing with it. Melissa, that's a great question. And I really want to flip that out to everybody. It's how do you know if you have a secret belief? I mean, I think part of it, here's how I know. When I'm working towards something and sitting down to plan something or preparation, when I get that, for me, it's this uncomfortable tingle in the back of my neck. So it's a dissonance that I get. So every time I think about a project that I've got this secret fear about, right? It's uncomfortable. So everybody has a tell, just like if any of you play poker, you have a tell when somebody's bluffing or when somebody's holding back. Oftentimes they have a physical reveal, a tell. So what's your tell? When you know that you're stepping back from something or you've got that hidden discomfort, where does it show up in your body? Where does it show up for you? Yeah, I can definitely mentally bite off more than I can chew. I see so many details and become overwhelmed. It is so easy to be overwhelmed. I think that goes back to what Lucetta was saying, Mayor Virginia. Start rolling. And even Jody was talking about just by starting, you can often see it takes less time and it does take less effort than we think. We're amazing as humans. We can make up all kinds of things and hold them as true, and it can totally shut us down. Right? The idea that, oh my God, this is overwhelming. As soon as you decide it's overwhelming, every time you look at the list of tasks related to a topic, you're going to look at that as evidence that it's nightmarish and you'll never complete it. So you will collect evidence to prove your theory that it's impossible. So yes, starting is the only way. All right, so again, the idea that one cannot be prepared for something while secretly believing that it will not happen. What will you do now? Playing with this idea and playing with the mindsets we've played with. What will you do now? Melissa says, overwhelm is an excuse for avoiding what you need to do. And yes, so facing overwhelm, what will you do differently? What will you choose different? So, as I'll always ask you before we leave, what mindset will you choose, right? What mindset will you choose and what actions will you take? So same time next week, I look forward to you joining me for the next episode of Mindset Mondays with DTK. Thanks. And please go to facebook.com/groups/Mindset Mondays. And please join the Facebook group and join the conversation. Take care.